Carolyn Dube here, and today I'm sharing with you how to get two very different images from the same stencil. Do you call this the positive and the negative? Do you call it the reverse and the forward? Whatever it is you call it, it's how to get two very different looks from the same exact stencil. Stencil I'm going to be using is one called Arched Aqueducts. This is from over at Stencil Girl, and the inspiration for this stencil when I created it were all the aqueducts that I saw on a trip to Italy. They would just seem to show up in all sorts of places, and it would just be fragments of these and so many of them. To me, they just captured my attention, my imagination as almost being like bridges from the past. My favorite thing about some of the aqueducts was how they would combine the different sizes and shapes of the arches. And so that's what I've captured in the stencil. I'm going to show you how to use a bold stencil like this to create two very different looks with the Gelli plate. Come take a look. Here's the big Gelli plate, the 12 by 14 with lots and lots of black acrylic paint on here. I'm going to put the stencil on there. Now I can gently push it down with my fingers and be all precise about it, or I can just put a piece of paper over it. I'm going to put a piece of deli paper over it so that you can see through and see exactly what it is I'm doing. By rubbing on this, I'm pushing the paper into those openings, and because it's see-through, because it's deli paper, I can then exactly see where else I still need to push. But by doing that, I'm going to get a clear and crisp image when I lift off the paper. That's the trick to get a clear image with a stencil off the Gelli plate, is making sure that you get that contact everywhere between the paper and the paint. Well, now I've got that part done, I actually want to get the image from on the stencil. So I am now going to just put that down. It's fully loaded up with paint. I'm putting another piece of paper over it just to protect any smears or smudges. But I really just want to push that stencil down so that the paint that it picked up off of the Gelli plate will transfer to the plain old white paper. And when I lift that up, I can now get that look from the stencil. So two very different looks from the same exact stencil. Well, you didn't think we were done, did you? Well, we're not done. When I put a piece of deli paper over this paint, you'll start to see that stenciled image, those arches just coming up in the black right there. Black is a very strong and powerful color. When I lift this off, it's going to look very, very grungy and busy, but you can still see all the arches right in there from the stencil. And there's still one more print that I'm going to get off of this. That's a lot of black paint that's on there. You can actually even still see some of the pattern and the texture building up there on the Gelli plate. I'm going to come in, and my goal here is to really just clean off that black that was around the edges that's still really wet. And what I'm going to end up creating is an awesome piece of textured deli paper. Well, thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, pop on over to the blog and say hello over at colorfuljourney.com. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.